little river town nestled in the south, where the boatmen come ashore to see what it's all about.
Until this decade, I never really lived here, but I always came to visit as a child. And then later I brought my kids to visit. I came to visit my grandparents, I brought my kids to visit their grandparents. And we've had a lot of adventures in this house, both my family and me and my cousins when we would come to visit Grandmom and Granddad. He knew that the TVA wanted a coal terminal on the newly formed Kentucky Lake. And this was one of the original coal terminals on the river system. But I think he knew that he and my grandmother were going to move up here from Memphis. And so he had his eye on this point to build his final home. And what a home it is. Well, he knew that it should be built for entertaining, and he knew that it should have a guest wing. And this upstairs is the guest wing. Downstairs are only 2 bedrooms, and so he and Grandmom lived in the master. And the other guest room down the hall was actually called Julia's room, and that was my mother. She was the first person to spend a night in this house. This house has hosted parties, lots of guests from all walks of life. When the house first opened, was finished and furnished, Granddad had a big grand opening party for a bunch of business people. And the newspapers came and they described it as a gala event hosted by Russell Badgett and attended by captains of industry. This house, of course, is made of concrete and really doesn't have a crack in it. Granddad built bridges and he knew all about concrete. And this was his last structure. It's still here in its entirety and mostly original. I mean, the only thing new in here are appliances and maybe a few people. There are many different kinds of woods that he used here, but interior is all wood. The wood floors downstairs are oak, and they're random width and pegged, so it's original flooring. I had it resurfaced. The walls, mostly downstairs, are oak. The kitchen is birch. The entryway and the service hallway downstairs is bird's eye maple. And it's all done without nails showing. He didn't want any nails showing. Upstairs, the uniqueness here is that each bedroom is a different wood. There's sassafras, birch, pecky cypress, and quarter sawn oak. Each bedroom has a different wood. And the millwork in this house is something like you don't see anymore at all. I talk to this house and I tell it that it deserves a loving owner that will appreciate it as much as we have. My parents, they lived here 38 years and took care of this house with love because it was Mom's dad that built this house. And I have the same kind of emotion and hope that somebody will appreciate every part of this house. It holds so much potential for continuing its life.